Yeah, he always does that.
So what is it, over 60? Pick it up?
Yeah, if he can do it.
Okay.
Our Commander General, Major General Gary M. Brito, I would like to welcome you all to beautiful Fort Benning, Georgia. In a moment, I will have the opportunity to lead the band onto the field for our pre-show. And our pre-show is designed to help you guys to get a little more pumped up for the graduation. But we also ask for some crowd participation. So during our third song, which is Georgia on My Mind, we are going to invite everyone in the stands to come down onto the field and join us in what we like to call our world famous Georgia kick line. Yeah? That sounds exciting? A little bit? Yeah? One person right there. So, when you hear Georgia on My Mind, we will invite you all down to the field. We want you to line up straight here, right in front, and just have a little fun. Take pictures, take video, post them wherever you like, and just get in the mood of the day's graduation. So, we're in a moment. We'll be glad to see you all out here in front of us. So again, welcome to Fort Benning, and we hope you enjoy the ceremony.
Y'all check out Victoria? You didn't either.
When I talked to a lady the other day, she said, I said, it's not 9. She said, well, it's probably 2 hours. And she'll be back by 12, but then it's not, it's okay. But she didn't think they were late here.
I think it's around 55.
Marching onto the field is the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, under the direction and command of Captain Aaron Morris. The drum major for today is Staff Sergeant Corey Walton. Excellence Band's history dates back to 1916, when the band was first organized in El Paso, Texas as the 34th Infantry Band of the 34th Infantry Regiment. During its time with the 34th Infantry Regiment, the band earned campaign participation credit in World War I in Lorraine, France. The band served for many years at Fort Benning, Georgia until it was inactivated in June of 1940. In October of 1942, the band was reactivated at Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, and this time aligned with the 136th Infantry Regiment. The band was called on to support overseas efforts during wartime before being deactivated again in December of 1946. After several reorganizations and redesignations, the band was finally activated once again on Fort Benning, Georgia in 1955 as the 283rd Army Band. In 2009, during Fort Benning's transformation with Fort Knox, the band was officially designated as the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. We welcome you today on behalf of all the men and women of today's Army, for they are the strength of the nation, ready today and prepared for tomorrow. Let's give it up for Sidewalk now trumpet. Great job. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Staff Sergeant Richard Scarlett. I'm the vocalist for the MCOE band, and we are excited to be here with you this morning to celebrate this momentous occasion for you and your soldier. But what we want to know right now is how many of you are excited to see those soldiers march across the field this morning? I don't know. There's a lot of people here. I think we do much better than that. So, on the count of 3, without stopping, I want you to try this one more time. Give me as much noise as possible. 1, 2, 3. Much better. That's what I'm talking about. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you all to please rise and join with us in singing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the oceans, wide we fall. My home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated, and you'll see your soldier real soon. For over 60 years, the musicians of the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band have taken great pride in entertaining the soldiers, families, and civilians of the Fort Benning, Columbus, and Phoenix City communities. Through music, they've shared the story of our nation and its soldiers worldwide. Currently, the MCOE band, with its 8 performing groups, accomplishes over 500 missions a year in support of the military and civilian communities in and around Fort Benning. The band lives by the Maneuver Center of Excellence motto, one force, one fight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Maneuver Center of Excellence band!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Before the ceremony begins, we ask that you silence all electronic devices and please refrain from smoking during the ceremony. A quick note, if somebody lost some money on the left side of the grandstands, please report to the announcer's booth. Distinguished guests, friends and family members of Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. On behalf of Major General Gary Brito and Command Sergeant Major Scott Burzak of the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence, Colonel Townley Hedrick and Command Sergeant Major Martin Celestine of the United States Army Infantry School, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking the time and effort to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these veterans who have picked our country forward in times of peace and conflict. Thank you. For 243 years, the American infantryman has quietly gone about his duty that has taken him to historic battlefields on many of Earth's continents. He stood fast on the bloody battlefields within our own borders. He won the Cold War and preserved peace in far-reaching places like South Korea and Europe by his vigilant presence. He left the comfort of his family and endured the most demanding conditions of cold and heat, of dust and mud, of desert and jungle to fight our nation's wars. These young men soon to be in front of you today, all volunteers, joined the Army and the infantry in a time of war. They chose to serve their nation knowing that they may be deployed to Afghanistan or other contingency operations around the world. To commemorate the sacrifices of those who went before us and to tangibly link the commitment of today's soldiers with their legendary predecessors, this beautiful parade field was seeded with soil taken from significant battlefields in our nation's history. On 19 March 2009, heroes or descendants of heroes from these battles spread soil on the very place where your soldiers will walk today. These battles include Yorktown, Antietam, Soissons, Normandy, San Lorenzo, Corregidor, Korea, LZ X-Ray, Iraq, and Afghanistan. When these young men march proudly past you, they will actually be walking on the ground hallowed by their infantry forefathers. One of those leaders was 2nd Lieutenant Daniel K. Inouye, later Senator Inouye from Hawaii. On 12 September 2014, soil was spread on the parade field from San Lorenzo, Italy, and the parade field was officially named Inouye Field in honor of Senator Daniel K. Inouye, who, in 1997, was awarded the Medal of Honor. On 8 August 2013, for his heroic actions on 21 April 1945. As a platoon leader in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, and despite being critically wounded, 2nd Lieutenant Inouye, by his gallant, aggressive tactics and his indomitable leadership, enabled his platoon to advance through fierce resistance and capture the heavily defended and fortified bridge known as Col Musatello, outside the town of San Lorenzo. This ceremony marks the culmination of months of long and arduous training, the results of which are these superb infantry soldiers prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world. We are proud of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments, there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics. Please focus your attention on the far side of the parade field. The World War II Company Street serves as a constant reminder of the time-honored traditions and values of America's greatest generation, those infantrymen who walked before us. In just a few moments, out from the past, will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad, the foundation of the decisive force and embodiment of the warrior ethos. The infantryman has the most challenging job of any member of the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They are the standard bearers for all the Army's other forces, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With the increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantryman must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. These infantrymen graduating today are accomplished marksmen, able to engage the enemy day and night. They understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mechanized force from Strykers or Bradleys, from the sky as airborne or air assault, war raise their right hand and sworn oath to God and country to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy. If called upon to fight building to building in Baghdad or Fallujah, to clear the streets of Mazar-e Sharif or Jalalabad in Afghanistan, or to deliver aid and provide security in the Horn of Africa, these men make the difference in this global war on terror. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad. The squad is carrying the equipment it trained with and will carry into combat. The squad is led by a staff sergeant. He is armed with an M4 carbine. The M4 carbine is the latest evolution of the M16 family and is designed for use in vehicles and close quarters combat. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. He is also armed with an M4 carbine. This carbine is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M68 close combat optic and a PEC-15 infrared laser designator used to engage targets at night. Each fire team has 1 automatic rifleman. He is armed with an M249 squad automatic weapon. This is the squad and vehicle machine gun. It has a sustained rate of fire of 85 rounds per minute and weighs 17 pounds. Each fire team has 1 grenadier. He is armed with an M4 carbine and an M320 grenade launcher. It fires a variety of 40mm grenades to include high explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. He is armed with an M4 carbine and the M136 AT-4 anti-tank launcher. The AT-4 fires an 84mm shaped charge capable of defeating up to 14 inches of rolled homogeneous steel and breaching bunkers or masonry walls in urban structures. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the advanced combat helmet with the AN-PVS-14 monocular night vision device. This night vision device allows the soldier to see in low or no light conditions. Coupled with the laser designator on his weapon, he can place effective fire on all targets at night. On his torso, he is wearing the improved outer tactical vest, which consists of 4 armored plates capable of stopping small arms fire and fragmentation. Additionally, he is wearing ballistic eye protection, knee and elbow pads, and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the modern-day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, in any type of terrain against any enemy. These infantrymen are trained and motivated to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Army Infantry Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now returning to the parade field is the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major Staff Sergeant Corey Walton, commanded and directed by Captain Aaron Moritz. Now marching onto the parade field are the infantrymen from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, and Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Robert Peterson, Executive Officer of 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. Chaplain Joe Kelly, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment Chaplain, will offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we celebrate the incredible hard work and dedication it takes to finish infantry basic. We pray that you bless these soldiers who worked hard and sacrificed so much for the cause of freedom. As these newest guardians of freedom do what they got to do, we pray that you would bless them for their courage and their resolution to stand against tyranny. May their dedication and freedom to love the country be a light in dark places. Even now, do more in their lives than they can think or imagine. We ask that you bless each family member and loved one who has given their sons and daughters to defend our great nation. The United States Army could not be what it is without our heart, which is our families who make it great. Amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of the 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Frank Atkinson, and the Battalion Command Sergeant Major Jason Buda. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Before you are the newest members of that unique band of brotherhood that is the United States Army Infantry. Today, your young men join that same fraternity that stormed the beaches of Normandy, hunted the enemy in the Al-Shaw Valley, parachuted into Panama, beat incredible odds in the streets of Somalia, and currently subdue our enemies in Iraq and Afghanistan. Those graduating today have mastered the basic skills necessary to become infantrymen in the United States Army and stand ready to defend this great nation against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, if you are not in uniform, please remove your headgear.
And the home of
Please be seated. The infantry soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 8 territories displayed along the memorial wall symbolize the broad base of our national defense. The companies standing before you have conducted a turning blue ceremony because blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier receiving the coveted symbols of an infantryman, the cross rifle insignia with blue background disc, and the blue infantry cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry on the finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry cross rifles, blue discs, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest soldiers in the world, the United States Army infantrymen. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantrymen are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, will recite the drill sergeant creed.
The drill sergeant creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on any modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I face, pride itself, in the Army, and country. I will insist that each soldier keeps and maintains the Army standards, military merit, and courtesies consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. Death to defend.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. The drill sergeant of the cycle and distinguished honor graduate will each receive a 1-year membership to the National Infantry Association, the Army Achievement Medal, a plaque from the United States Armed Forces Association, a plaque from the Non-Commissioned Officers Association, a plaque from Mahone Productions for outstanding performance, and a gift card from Ranger Jills. The drill sergeant of the cycle for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Sergeant First Class Jeffrey Carden from Boston, Massachusetts. Drill Sergeant Carden's wife, Jennifer, is being presented a bouquet of flowers in recognition of her support of her husband. The distinguished honor graduate for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Private Jordan Ross from Utahville, South Carolina. Private Ross's follow-on assignment is the South Carolina National Guard. The drill sergeant of the cycle for Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Staff Sergeant Dylan Bolt from London, New York. Drill Sergeant Bolt's wife, Shanice, is being presented a bouquet of flowers in recognition of her support to her husband. The distinguished honor graduate for Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Private Angela Lindsay from Shiloh, Illinois. Private Lindsay's follow-on assignment is Airborne School. The drill sergeant of the cycle for Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Staff Sergeant Joel Stroud from Safford, Arizona. The distinguished honor graduate for Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Private Harrison Yearley from Berkeley, California. Private Yearley's follow-on assignment is Airborne School. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the battalion commander of 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Frank Atkinson.
All right, good morning. Hendrick, General Jones, Colonel Voorhees, Sergeant Major Blunt, Colonel Allen, Sergeant Major Graves, Sergeant Major Lindsay, Sergeant Major Cook, Sergeant Major Boardman, Colonel Osgood, Sergeant Major Baldwin, fellow commanders, distinguished guests, friends and family. Again, good morning and welcome to Fort Benning, Georgia, the historic home of the infantry and home of the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence. Thank you for joining us and celebrating this important milestone in the lives of the graduates assembled before us this morning. Now, I'm absolutely positive you want me to give a long speech on what your soldier completed here in the past 14 weeks. But I'll keep it to a few minutes just in case you're not. The chaplain, good job with the prayer this morning. I now know where you stand with the good Lord when it comes to weather because you're able to keep the rain away for a little bit, so we appreciate that. I would like to start by thanking the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. For more than 2 centuries, bands have led our nation's infantrymen into battle. It is only fitting that they led the next generation of infantrymen onto this field, and in a few minutes will lead them off the field toward infantry formations around the world. For 14 weeks, each soldier in front of you today dealt with the climactic changes of Fort Benning, ran 5 miles and under a 9-minute mile pace. Some got a really bad haircut. They learned over 200 tasks. They made their own beds and shaved every day. They conducted an exhausting 7-day field training exercise. Now this is a diverse group ranging from ages 17 to 36. They come from almost all 50 states and a few from different countries that are seeking citizenship. There are over a dozen different languages spoken by the graduates in front of you in various education levels, from high school diplomas to graduate degrees. But here today, they are the newest infantrymen who raised their hand to defend the Constitution and serve, like many of those before them, in a time of conflict. For the past 14 weeks, the drill sergeants and cadre have spent countless hours endeavoring to transform civilians who arrived here at Fort Benning into soldiers and training these soldiers to become infantrymen. They have trained them to engage and destroy targets with the weapons you saw at the beginning of the ceremony. By the way, didn't that the squads look good, didn't they? Yeah. Rearranged the kind of cloud that came across, by the way. No, we didn't. That was serendipitous. We'll take it, though. They learned to move through the thick woods of Georgia as a member of a rifle squad, to communicate with a radio, to sustain and maintain themselves and their equipment. They have trained these soldiers to be physically strong, morally straight, and mentally tough infantrymen. Please give these outstanding NCOs and officers a hand and recognize their hours of producing the best infantrymen in the world. The drill sergeants know the infantrymen who stand before you today did not come here a blank slate. You, the family, shaped these young men and women who are willing to walk into a recruiting station and volunteer to protect an ideal forged by our forefathers. If you know the history of the Battle of Thermopylae, you know that King Leonidas chose his best 300 warriors to defend the hot gates. And it was not just for their battlefield prowess. He also chose them because of their families. He knew they would fight harder and would rally the will of the people. Our nation is in debt to you as well, families. Thanks for your prayers and support. And again, welcome to the Army family. To the infantrymen on the field, you are now committed to the practiced philosophy of service and duty. If you serve 3 years or 30, ultimately it is and will always be about service and duty. I want you to listen because the rucksack will only get heavier, and I mean that figuratively and literally. As infantrymen, privation, constant change, chaos, sore feet, fatigue, and sometimes hardship are your companions. But so is the deep camaraderie of appreciating those infantrymen who have come before you, that stand in front of you, beside you, and eventually, as some of you become leaders, behind you. It is the satisfaction of knowing that until an infantryman stands on foreign soil, only then are American interests achieved. Again, the rucksack will only get heavier. Congratulations for today, but don't rest on your laurels. Continue to live a life of challenge and service. Stay physically fit, morally straight, intelligently curious, and lethal when the day comes to force your will on the enemy. As you get ready to pass a review onto your next duty station, I congratulate you once again on behalf of the Brave and Bold Brigade and we thank you for your service to our great nation. I wish you and your families good luck and Godspeed as you embark on your next Army adventure. Brave and bold, follow me, one team, one fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. We invite all soldiers, both past and present, to stand and join us as the Distinguished Honor Graduate from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, leads the Army's newest infantryman in the Soldier's Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but please remain in your seats. When the American flag passes to your front, we ask that you rise and that the gentlemen remove their headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in your seating area until the Enco band has completely left the field at the conclusion of the ceremony. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Robert Peterson from Salem, Alabama. Now approaching the reviewing stand is the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major Staff Sergeant Corey Walton, commanded and directed by Captain Aaron Morris. Delta Company's 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Robert Anderson from Woodfield, Ohio. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant Robert Figlioli from Fulton, New York. The platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Brandon Kramer from St. Palmer, Alaska. The platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Jared Leonard from Rantoul, Illinois. The platoon sergeant for 4th Platoon is Sergeant First Class Daniel Brewer from Ashburn, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is 1st Sergeant Bradley Spade from Clearfield, Pennsylvania. The Color Sergeant is Sergeant First Class Daniel Shelley from Raceville, Texas. Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Philip Reed from Aspen, Texas. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant Andrew Payne from Wayne, Indiana. The platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Dylan Brown from East Chatham, New York. The platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Roberto Ariola from Los Angeles, California. The platoon sergeant for 4th Platoon is Staff Sergeant Tyler Wiggins from Athena, Oregon. The 1st Sergeant for Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is 1st Sergeant Brian Jones from Miami, Florida. Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Eric Lemire from Arlington, Ohio. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon is Sergeant First Class Jawan Rodnax from Camden, North Carolina. The platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Tracy Amati from Marietta, Georgia. The platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class John Galogly from Jasper, Alabama. The platoon sergeant for 4th Platoon is Sergeant First Class Daniel Thomas from Hickson, Tennessee. First Sergeant for Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is First Sergeant Nicholas Brady from Galesburg, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the band plays the infantry song and the army song.